joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Natasha Kirchuk here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. The Israeli Prime Minister will finally set out for Washington, D.C. today to take part in his first meeting with Donald Trump since a former businessman has become President of the United States. It's only been 3 weeks since Trump has taken office, but Israel has already used the time to approve thousands of new homes in the West Bank. The White House has chosen not to condemn these moves, suggesting that the Trump administration will be more open toward Israeli settlement activity. Netanyahu and Trump are set to have a 4-hour meeting, and the Prime Minister is already cautioning his ministers to tread lightly and, quote, take Trump's personality into account. The two leaders are planning to discuss Iran, Syria, and the Palestinians, in addition to a future intelligence and security coordination. The Israeli Prime Minister is also planning to meet with the new U.S. Vice President, Secretary of State, and House Speaker, among other top American officials. An Israeli border police officer has been injured following a scuffle with 2 Palestinian minors in Jerusalem. The guard was reportedly checking their identification cards in the Old City of Jerusalem when he came under attack. Details of his injuries are not yet fully available, but Israeli reports claim he's been lightly wounded. The officer has been transferred to a local Jerusalem hospital for treatment. The Army radio claims the 2 Palestinian youths have now been taken in for questioning following the physical confrontation. The Knesset is coming under fire by the president of the Palestinian Authority yet again, this time for the potential passage of a bill called the muezzin law. The muezzin law would ban any religious institutions from using outdoor loudspeakers at night. The Ministerial Committee for Legislation voted yesterday to back the new version of the bill, which forbids the use of outdoor speakers to sound the call for prayer in residential areas from 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. It also includes a larger fine of 10,000 shekels for violating the law. Any house of prayer, including synagogues, churches, and mosques, would be covered under the law. But Palestinian officials are expressing their dissatisfaction with the move, calling it a dangerous violation of freedom of worship. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is condemning the bill, saying it would drag the area to disaster. Israel's travel junkies have a whole new trip to look forward to because North Korea is now planning to issue tourist visas to Israelis. The East Asian nation has come under major scrutiny from the West for its nuclear program, human rights violations, and provocative missile tests. But that's not stopping one Israeli tourism agency. Rimon Tours now has an exclusive agreement to issue tourist visas for North Korea and will start offering trips come spring and summer. According to estimations from the agency, as of today, only 100 Israelis have visited North Korea on organized trips in the past. Up until now, Israelis interested in visiting the controversial nation have had to apply for entry through Chinese tour agencies. Right now, Rimon Tours is offering 4 tours throughout April to May and is reassuring travelers that the country's military programs and nuclear research will not affect tourism. Just yesterday, South Korea claimed that North Korea fired a projectile missile into its eastern sea in a supposed effort to advance its weapon program. In other government news, the cabinet has approved a 3 billion shekel program for housing, job training, and transportation improvement for the Bedouin sector of Israeli society. The money to be spent over a 5-year period calls for 10 new industrial areas, programs for integrating the Bedouin population, construction of 25,000 housing units, and the development of public transportation to service their communities. Over 1 billion shekels is to be allocated to improving school facilities and developing programs to increase success on high school matriculation exams, and to reduce the dropout rate. Around 1,500 classrooms would be added, 47 million shekels would be used to train Bedouin teachers, and 118 million shekels would go to operating community centers, youth movement, sports activities, and computer training. That's all for now. I'm Natasha Kirchuk, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.